Hey, what's going on? My name is Jeff. Nice to meet you. I can talk indicators like all day, every day. So. Let's go ahead and get started. I got a bunch, but let's go ahead and start with this one because it's the one I'm currently working on. I asked you which one did you which way were you leaning? Because one thing I can say is that the indicator is only as beneficial as it fits the personality of the person. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a quick little analogy. Let's say I am. Hold on. All right, I'm not even sure this is a great analogy, but check this out. Over here, we got two random basketball players. Okay, you got a tall one and you got a short one. The game of basketball is the same. Okay, the same is the same. However, so if you're this short fella, would you like to learn from Shaquille O'Neal? I mean, you could, and you would definitely learn some stuff, but it's not gonna fit what's natural for you. Okay, so let's say I'm this tall fella. Do I really want to learn over here with this short dude? The things that they're not the same. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So the reason I bring all that up is that the indicator or the trading style needs to fit what the trader is going to do. Okay, so let's hop into it. So I made this one primarily for me because, like I just told you, tall guy and short guy, the trading has to fit your lifestyle. You got some people who live, and this is no shade to anybody who lives in their mom basement, but hey, they live with their mom. They don't have to necessarily work, so they can watch charts all day long. I don't. I'm actually a school teacher, and then I teach driver's ed afterwards, and then I even have some other hustles that I do. So that's why I'm in the indicators, because it can alert me to when conditions are met, and because I do not have time to sit and watch trades all day. So you would actually be extremely beneficial to me if you could play with this and test it. I've had some success, but let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you how this thing works, and you'll have to give me your trading view name so I can give you access to it. But this works off break of structure on a daily time frame, which basically means I would only have to really be watching this chart once a day. Let me get rid of some of this other stuff to make it less clouded. Okay, the first thing you'll notice here, see this green line? That's a super trend. This is an indicator, and basically what my indicators are is a bunch of indicators combined together. All right, so this says that the market is going up, and it's customizable. All right, so let me say a factor of 2, and we'll notice that the line gets tighter. Yep, see, yeah, it got tighter. I could actually take it down even further. Let's see, I wanted to take it to a 1. See, and it gets more sensitive. Problem with that is you get false signals. Okay, like this one here, this line, it started out obviously bullish, and then it came back down, and it probably went back up. So when you have it too tight, actually, and that's a mistake that I made, I actually had it point as dash 001 tight. Give it a second. Okay, so I say that for you to not waste your time making it super tight. All right, so the factor, I'm going to leave it as, say, a factor of 3. All right, now here's how it pretty much works. When we are in a long, okay, we're only taking, I'm sorry, when we're bullish, we're only taking long signals. All right, so with this candle here that I'm currently on, we get a trade if price action breaks the high of the previous day. All right, breaks the high of the previous day. Let's see what happens. So it was a loss. Okay, it was a loss. It broke the high of the previous day, then turned around and came back down. All right, that's just part of the game. All right, so hold on. And again, that was a break of the high, but then it came back down here. Let's look at one more. Broke the high, ended up down there. All right, so obviously those weren't good. Now, here's another thing. When I send you this, I want you to send me back a pair, forex pair, and a month, and I'll do a different one. One of the things that you definitely want to be mindful of is people who cherry pick what they show you. I can tell you, and you probably figured it out by now, all indicators lose. All traders lose. Okay? There's some wins, there's some losses, but when you see an advertisement for an indicator, typically it wins. They tell you it's amazing. Well, they're not. Okay? There's going to be some losses. So, let's do one more, and then I'm going to show you how I combat that. Give me 1 second. Okay, now this one was a win. It broke the previous high and it closed there. Now, the key is, how do I reduce these signals? So, give me 1 second here. Now, this is volume. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take that down to 0. So if you see how I got a whole bunch of signals? Let's say when the buying pressure is on, I want it to be, I'm going to say 50%. 50% by the buyers are in charge. Let's see what happens to the amount of signals. You see how they drop? See, because now all of a sudden, if I just entered into a trade based on it breaking the previous day high, well, that's just not telling me much. I want another confluence. So another confluence would be, hey, did it break the high with the seller, with the buyers in charge? Let me crank it up to say 80%. See? And more of them drop, which means I'm getting fewer signals. But now let's look at the signals that I did get. We broke the high. Wham! Humongous gain. We broke the high. Big gain. We broke the high. That's a big gain. Broke the high. Big gain. Broke the high. That's a little gain. So you don't get as many trades, but the ones that you get are higher. Now I just did it for longs. Let's go ahead and do it for shorts. Come back over here. Okay. Actually, these pretty much won. Most of these won. Let me tell you what, hold on. Let me go 80. Let's see what happens. I got fewer signals, see? Now, let me tell you what these are. I've been dealing with indicators for years, and for me, it's the time. Sometimes it's very time consuming. So what I do here, you see, CP, that stands for close profit. Close profit 01, close profit 05. So I get to look at these and decide when I'm playing with the settings, are these closing with profits or are these closing with losses? Let's take this one here. Trade triggered because it crossed the low of the previous day, then ended right there. So that was a close, but it was a small gain. Okay. Next. Now this was all based off these closing. The trades are over when the candle closes. Okay. So let's look at this one here. Trade entered. And when do I get out of the trade? You get out of the trade once the candle closes. These are daily candles. All right. Let's take a look at one more thing. But what if I don't want to stay in to the end of the candle? So let me come over back here. You see my take profit is set to 0. When my take profit is set to 0, it's going to automatically the trade will terminate when the candle closes. So let's say I want to just get that 10 or 100. You gotta play with it because sometimes with the different tickers it's a little different. But let's say let's assume that this is 20 pips. I'm gonna change this one to 20 pips as well. Now let's say I am going to take, hold on, I'm gonna take the buying pressure back down to say 40. Oops, that's not 40, that was like 4. No, yeah, 40. Profit, 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 profit. This one was a loss. Profit, that one was a loss. Profit, 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 profit. I don't know why those aren't showing up. Close profit, close profit, close profit. See, these two didn't even go into trades. Close profit. Now this one would have been a humongous gain, but remember, I set my take profit to like 20 pips. So it would have entered, got 20 pips, and then terminated. That's what the T stands for. The T is my signal for take profit. Take. So a T is take profit. This CN is a closed negative. It closed negatively. Take profit, close negative. So it's a lot of wins there. All right, next. Let's see, 1 second. All right. Now, again, I told you, buddy, time is a big factor for me. I don't have, like right there. Now that was pretty quick, but I want to check it on a lot of different pairs, and I just don't have time. So what I did was have this built in. So it's going to run the same strategy on AUD CAD, AUD JPY, AUD USD, CAD JPY, Euro. All right. So how would those trades have turned out? I mean, I can get a pen and a paper and manually look through and see, but let me go ahead and open up the chart. All right, so let's come over here. With these specific settings, AUD CAD had 38 wins, 15 losses, for a total of 520 pips positive. For shorts, it had 25 shorts, 12 of them, hold on. Okay, yeah, so AUD CAD, 38 trades were positive. 15 trades were negative, and it was a net pip of 520. When we went shorts, 25 pips positive. I'm sorry, 25 trades were positive. Excuse me. 12 trades were negative for a total of 254 pips. And I can see which pairs, and then actually what I do, I mean, that's for later, but I take all this data, excuse me, I run it through my ChatGPT, and then it tells me which pairs are the most successful to trade with this particular strategy. But we'll do that like way later. But that's really about it. I mean, I've been talking for like 15 minutes. Like I said, I literally can go on and on talking about indicators. But this here is customizable. You can use the super trend or not. Let me see if the data changes. Yeah, see, so when I use the super trend, I am only taking longs. Well, it's called super trend mode. I'm only taking longs when the super trend is bullish. However, there's money to be made if I decided to go short. So let's say I don't use the super trend. I actually make more. But then I'm in more trades. You know, do I really want to be in that many trades? Okay. Now, here's the calendar feature. So all of this data is from 2024, January the 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 20. So basically a year. Okay, basically a year. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. You can always change the time frame to say what would it have been for this current year. So January the 1st, and let me say 25th. 2025, and this is April 13th. Let's say April 13th. That's fine. Let it think, and those would have been the results for this current year based on those settings. Now, where you come into play is play with the settings. I mean, I can enable longs and shorts. I can take off shorts. I don't want to run any shorts. Well, I just took away everything. Say, hey, I only want to enable longs. The longs will come back. If I only want to enable shorts and I don't want to take any longs, then the shorts will come back. I put this one to 0, but it can actually say, hey, I only want to trade if volume is at a certain level. You know, sometimes the markets are kind of flat and they're not really moving. So you can have that. I typically set that to 0. That's 20 pips. It says 200, but that's 20. This here is for people who do funded challenges. Well, me, I used to do funded challenges. I'm kind of getting away from that. But that's it. You know, so if you decided to watch this whole thing and you want to play with it, give me your TradingView name. I'll definitely give you access to it. Like I said, I don't sell anything. I'm not buying anything either. Oh, so over here, I'm just seeing it. During that year, there weren't really any longs that met the criteria, but there were a lot of shorts that met the criteria. I don't know if that's good for the market or not. I mean, that's going down. Maybe that has to, yeah, either way. But yeah, that's what it would have looked like. Let me see if let me change the settings. I'm gonna go with volume at 1 and take profit at 10 pips. See if I would have gotten anything. No, that didn't work. Those results were horrible. Okay, and that's really about. Like I said, if you're interested, I'll definitely give you access to it. We can discuss it, talk about it. Uh, but yeah, I don't even know if this fits. Oh, that's why I didn't take any longs, because I had longs turned off. I thought that was odd. Okay, so with longs turned on, this one was a good one. 24 wins, 0 losses. So it must be 10. So yeah, see the 100, when I put in 100, that translates to 10. So in the course of this current year, Euro JPY, there were 24 trades that met that criteria. None of them lost. They all hit take profit. Over here for shorts, we had 34 that met that criteria, and 3 lost, for a total of 165 pips. Okay. Okay, and that's about it. So, wait a minute, let me see something. Yeah. So I guess you only see the numbers when you're within the time range, and that's fine. I'm not going to change that. Yeah, so there's a lot of wins here, but at the same time, we're leaving a lot of, like right here. It entered. Oops. All right, I want to show you this example of leaving money on the table. All right. Here we go. So right here, looks as if we're gonna go long. I'll put it there ahead of time. Now I'm gonna set this seems rather low. 10 pips. Now I got it. I hit take profit, but I left a I left a lot. I mean, now if I would have left it to see, if I would have came over here and I left it to take profit of 0, then I would have caught this entire move. Okay, I would have caught all of that. But that's not what I did. I set it to only catch 10 pips. So again, it goes back to trading strategy. Are you a gambler who wants to try to catch all of it, or are you somebody who's okay with catching 10 pips in a day? Personally, I'm okay with catching 10 pips in a day, which is part of the reason I want to trade so many pairs. So if I can get 10, 10, 10, yeah, honestly, I don't even need 10. Whatever the spread is plus, say, 5 pips, I consider that a successful trade. Now, there are some people who look at that and kind of frown their nose up at that. I dude's not a real trader because I don't go for massive 100 pips. But this particular indicator allows you to go. Now, you can set your, say, hey, I just want the 10 pips, or you could let it go and get it. Just get the whole thing. Or just remember, if you go for the whole thing and don't get it, you can wind up losing. So again, it really just depends. All right. So I'm gonna go now, buddy. I've been like I said, I literally can't talk forever. If you send me your info, I can send you this indicator, and we can talk about it. All right. Thanks. Bye.